And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Millennium Blades is from level 99. You can see this giant box here, no surprise for them. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, Millennium Blades, a CCG simulator card game, okay, whatever. And then I was talking to Richard Hamrot from Rado Runs Through, and he was talking about how this was not really a CCG, but was an economic. In this game, you are a player, someone who collects collectible card games like Magic the Gathering and things like that. You are someone who collects them, and in this game, you are buying and selling cards, and there's a whole economic part of the game, and then you also will then play the game. Whoa! Color me intrigued. This is a meta game, super meta. And level 99 tends to make games that I like anyhow, so I was very intrigued by it. Let's take a look. I'm not going to go over every rule of this game, but I'm going to try to give you a feel as to what's in the box. Millennium Blades is made up of two different parts. That is of playing this card game inside the game, and that of building a deck and buying and trading cards from other players. To understand one part, you have to understand the other. Each player is going to start with a small collection of cards, a starter pack. And I should mention here that all these cards basically show, it looks like a pack, and then when you open the pack by turning the card over, and this is the card that's inside the pack, because if you ever play collectible card games, you know that most of the cards you throw away, and you only keep the one card in there anyhow. So each player is going to have a starter pack, and in a tournament, and the game is going to have 2 or 3 tournaments in it. In a tournament, each player is allowed to have one deck box, which will give you a special way to score. They can have one accessory, and then the rest of the cards they're going to keep in their hand. They can bring up to 8 cards, but they're going to be playing 6 of those cards. And so when a tournament happens, on your turn, you pick one of the cards from your hand to play. So when you play a card, you are trying to get this little blue token worth of points. You're going to keep track up here. They're called rank points. And you can get up to, well, 300, I guess, or 399. You keep track with these. So, for example, if I play Dirtbag first, the Sandman, when I play him, I'll get 3 of those rank points for each air and earth card in my tableau. And I can also use him as an action to fight with my opponent. The winner would get 10. But this guy doesn't seem like he'd be a good person to play first. So I might want to play Bertrand, the Explorer. He gets me 16 of those rank points when the scoring happens. Scoring is going to happen after we play all our cards. I'm like, all right, I'll play him first. Now, someone else may play a card that causes some of my cards to be flipped over, or for there to be a clash. When there's a clash, you're going to flip cards from the top of the major deck pile, and you're going to use the number that's there and add it to the strength of the two things clashing. So if someone decided to clash with Bertrand, he will probably be flipped over and I'll lose those 16 points. However, next turn, maybe I'll play this guy here, who gives me 3 for each air and earth card, and I look at Bertrand and he's an earth character. Hooray! So I would play this and I would get 3 of those rank points. And maybe here, maybe then the next turn someone does make him go over. But then I can play Florian, and when I play her, I can flip any number of cards in my tableau, and at the end of the round, I'll get 15 rank points if she's the leftmost face-up card in your tableau. Well, that's interesting. So you're going to have to try to figure out the right order to play these. Cards will let you clash with other people, play things, and at the end of a round, after all the cards have been played out and some are face down, you will check them all for scoring. Your deck box also will probably give you a way to score. Like this one gives me 8 rank points for each earth card in my tableau with a maximum of 30. Whew, they're all earth cards, so that's great. Accessories are often here. They have a reaction which can prevent a card in your tableau from being flipped by an opponent's effect, which means someone tries to flip it, I can turn this card over and do that. Many cards have actions. When you use an action, you have to flip the card over to use it. And so that's the basic concept. At the end of a tournament, whoever has the most rank points is the winner. Players are going to be starting with the starter pack, but you're going to want to get more cards in your collection. So you're going to have a huge amount of cards that are available in this game. Here you have these core pack. This is a deck that's used in every game, but this deck is going to be modified, and you're going to add in a certain number of master packs, premium packs and expansion packs, and you really can pick which one you want. So I'm like, ooh, I'll take the lightning bug. So you'll take these and add them to the deck, and maybe you'll play with Xeno X-Over. I'm not even sure what that even means. And you add that, and let's see, ooh, the Legend of Tanananaha. Well, that's seems familiar. I'll add that one. And then once you're done adding all these, you're going to shuffle them together. Now, each of these is important because as you look at these cards, this is the cost to buy that card when it comes to money. This shows you kind of the different cards you might expect to find in here. These are the different elements, and these are the different types. There are many different types and elements. This one here has kind of a mix of all of them, while this Fists of Steel pack here, this one has several different elements, but has all of one type here, which are soldier type. So you know you're going to get a soldier when you go into this one, but you're not sure what element you're going to get. When you turn the cards over, hey, sometimes they're more deck boxes, or sometimes they're more accessories, but most of the time they're going to be cards that you play. This is their rank up here, and also down here shows the rarity of that card, which just kind of shows you how good the card is. Now that you know how the CCG works to some degree, the deck building phase is what is next. This is actually the first part of each round, and players will, they want more than their starting packs of cards, so they're going to use cash. Now, this game comes with paper money that you wrap stickers around. It comes $800 paper bills, and you wrap these stickers around it so you have fat stacks of cash. And so even though this is a bunch of ones, it's still just one. And you're going to be using this as currency over the course of the game. And the deck building thing is broken up into several groups of timed minutes, like 7 minutes, and then there's a little bit of moving things around, then 7 minutes, and same thing, then 6 minutes. And what players are going to be doing during this time is several things. It's real time, so you can do what you want. One of the things you do is you go, ooh, I want to buy cards from the middle. So you spend 5 fat stacks of cash, and you take this. What is it? Okay, ooh, that's a good card. Look at that. The value is 7. And so you add that to your collection. It will be replaced here. And so these cards are constantly being done. There's also promo cards over here. But to get these cards, you have to actually discard cards out of the game. 5 cards, 7 cards, and 9 cards to take a bronze, silver, and gold. But these cards are often high number values with special abilities, and they're great cards, although you only really need a couple of them to do a lot in the course of the game. Players can also directly trade with one another. I can say, I'll give you this card, but I'm looking for a specific card, and you say, well, here's this the card you want? Okay, well, I would take that card, but this is a 7 and a 3, so I would have to give you money equal to the difference. That's required. But that might not be enough. You might say, I'm still not really willing to trade. Well, each player is going to get a special character at the beginning of the game. These characters come with a deck building power, and this deck building power gives them something here. So this person can have 2 deck boxes and 3 accessories in their deck. And they also have a tournament power. So during the actual course of the game, they have a special ability. But they also come with friendship cards, and you can give these friendship cards, which are worth extra victory points at the end of the game. You can give them to other players to help sweeten a deal for a trade that you might want. Maybe nobody wants the card that you're offering them. Well, in that case, you can basically sell a card. So let's say I have this card and no one wants it. It's a great card. It's 9 value. So I put it here and I sell it. And it is, I take 9 from the bank. So I'm buying and selling, but I put my token on it because players are only allowed to sell so many cards until someone else, they buy it, so they pay 9 to the bank. Then I get my token back. So this aftermarket area here is going to be full of different cards that players are going to be selling. So you can trade directly with each other. You can buy the random packs. You can trade in for promos. You can buy and sell from this metagame area. You'll also notice over here in this metagame area, there's an element metagame update and a type update. And for each tournament, there's going to be 2 cards placed here. And during the deck building phase, players will turn these over at certain points to see bonus points that you will get during a tournament if you have these cards in your tableau. So here an earth card in your tableau, here a citizen card, and a fire card can give you 15 of those points. Once all this is done, once players are done, they're going to look at the decks they put together. Remember this board, this is where you where you kept your rank points and stuff and you played the tournaments. On the other side is where you play when you're building your deck. You have your binder. These are all your cards. So you might be getting tons of cards over the course of the game. You keep them in your binder. This is your deck area. You need to have this built by the time runs out, where you have 8 single cards, a deck box, and 2 accessories. And even though you put 8 cards, you only play 6 of them, but you need to decide. You also have a collection area. This is a way to get victory points. You can put cards over here, but all those cards need to be either the same type or the same element, and they all need to have a different star, which can be difficult because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and there's very few 8 or 9 stars, so it's going to be hard to get them all. But you can put cards, so maybe I put this imperfect gear here, which has the gear element on it, the construct, and it also has dark. But now I can't put this guy in there, so I have to wait till I get another gear or another dark. So I have another dark. So I'm slowly building my collection, but each of these needs to be a different star value. At the end of the deck building phase, you will basically show off your collection, sell your collection, and you'll get that many points, but then these are gone out of the game. So you'll sometimes have the hard decision of, do I want to add cards to my collection here, which will get me points, or do I want to keep them to play them over the course of the game? And of course, you have this big binder here of cards that you have for whatever reason. So that is essentially the whole game. You're going to be keeping track of your points that you get from selling your collections. You'll be keeping track of points that you get from the tournaments and there's maybe some other ways to get points, and you add all those, like the friendship cards, you add all those points together, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, there is more to the game than that. There's more variants in here, special cards that you can get for each of the characters, and arenas you can fight in and all that. Because why? It's level 99. And I guess I should start there, because level 99, I like them and they make great games, but they often go off the deep end with putting material in boxes. BattleCon Devastation of Endines. Oh, there's so much in that box. It just blows your mind, and so much that it can be very difficult to figure out how to get started in it. And they do that with many of their games, an excess probably is the best way to put it. Well, Millennium Blades has that in it because there is tons of cards. And at the beginning, you're like, okay, I need 3 blues and 2 reds and 2 greens, and I need to mix these together. And when I'm done, I need to separate them. And each person gets their own starting deck, and each person has their own character, and all this. And there's just a lot going on in the game. However, that excess here, while it takes a while to set up and things like that, actually works for this game because 1, it's thematic, and 2, it does give you a huge variety, and you use a good chunk of what's in the box for each game. So I don't mind the excess that's in here. I think it's going to be a barrier to new people, but I think that the theme of the game is a barrier in it itself. I think it's great. I'm like, oh, a game about being a collectible card player. Well, for some people, I would have to explain what that even is and everything, and it's, yeah, you kind of, there's a lot of in-jokes, and there's a lot of video game. You saw the Legend of Zelda thing. There's a Super Mario. There's a lot of things, and you have to kind of get all that. And then to compound that, there's a lot of the packs that say things like Backer Meets World. They're not even hiding the fact that there's Kickstarter backer stuff in here. So the audience for this, I think, is smaller than it could have been. I think maybe it could have been streamlined and made better and for a wider range of people. But be that as it may, I do happen to fit in the Venn diagram of people who this was made for. And I have to say, I really do enjoy it. The components are fine. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the artwork, but it's thematic. The packs of money, oh man, you guys know how I hate paper money. And here, it just might work. There's a lot of variety in the game. I really like the 2 distinct halves of the game. I'm sitting there and going, okay, I can buy and sell cards. And I'm the kind of guy who, when I did play CCGs, to my chagrin, I would buy lots of booster packs hoping to get good cards. And I can do that in this game, and I don't feel bad afterwards and go home at night and not be able to do my laundry or eat because I spent all my money. It's just in a game, and so that's fun. But you can also buy and sell in the market. You can trade with other people. You're building a collection of cards, which is worth points. But you're also building a deck that you can hopefully win the tournament with. The game itself, getting those points, is those rank points. It's an okay game. If it was the only thing in the game, I'd say it was okay. But being a basis around which a larger game is built, That's pretty impressive. And this game flows well. With 2 players, it works really well. The trading aspect is a little bit down because you're only trading with 1 person, but you'll be surprised at how the trading aspect isn't that big of a deal anyway. This game has a basis in real time where you're building a deck, and I know some people would shy away from that. I would normally too, but I'll tell you, there's lots of time. The time is there just to keep you from having analysis paralysis. If you can't build a deck and buy and sell cards in 20 minutes, because that's really how long you have, 7, 7, and 6. If you can't do that, then, I mean, come on. What? The game would take forever otherwise if they gave you unlimited time. And you will probably run out of money at points. You get money, and I like my favorite character is the guy who starts with more money because because I like to buy more of the booster packs. So it's neat. It's a very innovative concept. It's super meta, and I'm telling you, there's a small window of people I think who will like this, but the people who like it will likely love it. I really enjoy this. I'm really looking forward to playing it again. The game, the full game of this, you play 3 tournaments. I would say that I would be happy, I think, playing 2 tournaments with a lot of people because it feels like a right length. It depends how many people are in the game, but still. Now, does it need expansions? It will probably get some, but I'll tell you, there's enough content in here that this will last you a long time. Is there overpowered cards? Yeah, there's overpowered cards, but you have to work to get those, and 1 overpowered card ain't going to win you the game here, just like it should in a good CCG. Says, go from starter decks to world champion in just 2 hours. It is what it advertises to be, and has a pretty good economic game layered on top of this. Certainly not what I was expecting when I first saw the artwork, and it probably could have been a cooler product, maybe built to a wider audience, but since I do fit in a niche that will love this game, I love it. Dice Tower Judgment into my collection!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Shut the door.